Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Global Cooling Rundown from January 19th to January 31st, 2018. I'm taking you up to the Himachal Pradesh, Kashmir in India. Incredibly beautiful. But right now they're having a little bit warmer than normal winter, but no snow for the last 3 months. I just dove back into a history book taking a look at the Mughal Empire. Hey, they had massive drought, food shortages, and lack of water because of the grand solar minimum changes in the Himalayan range. This is backed up by significant mass loss of the Himalayan glaciers during the Little Ice Age, focused right in Himachal Pradesh. Imagine that. Looking at the western Himalaya glaciers during the 16 and 1700s, colder and drier. Well, what about the rest of the Himalayan range? We have Nepal, Bhutan, Sikkim, colder and drier. Now we're getting record cold in Bangladesh. It's very clear, total solar irradiance, mega drought, and cold temperatures across the Indian subcontinent. Those of you in India, get ready for a mega drought. Talk about a new mini ice age. Well, the global warming debate is now about to change. They're talking about sun's magnetic activity going to drop temperatures in 2021. This fits up with all the models that we've been seeing. Yet they say, well, right after this, it's going to pick back up global warming after the mini ice age. But they don't tell you there'll be 2 billion less people on the planet. And all these articles suddenly coming out. Grand solar minimum is going to temporarily reduce global temperatures. They say humans already causing 0.2 of a degree per decade, so that should be 0.8, but when we look at 4 decades of information, we're only at 0.4, so at least they're off by 50% on their predictions. They do show the dip coming up. That's a substantial dip. Crop production will be affected. And what's with all these new articles coming out talking about Earth's orbit being affected, and the glacials and interglacials are now affected by CO2, so our planet's orbit's now affected by CO2. Perhaps it has something to do with the galactic cross and our continuous weather changes when we reach these points. Huge snowfall over Antarctica counters sea level rises. What? Look at all this sea ice that's there. Now they're trying to say sea level's not going to rise because so much ice on Antarctica, but now they want to better understand future conditions on the climate. I thought everything was settled. Now the ocean bottom's deforming, so there's no sea level rise. The weight of the additional liquids pushing down the sea floor, so there's no sea level rise. So what happened to all the science being settled? I'm looking at Christian Station. He has a video right now talking about why the world's governments are covering up food shortages. So we're chasing this from 2 different angles on the Business Insider article here. Whole Foods, nationwide phenomenon with these ordering system that they have. Vegetable prices surging in Japan, veggies up in Malaysia, veggies up in India. High prices from Spanish vegetables into Germany. A look at the supply chain globally. And I was wondering what had happened with those massive 120, 130 mile per hour winds that were ripping container ports apart. So I found this article, Difficult Sprout Season, and I called Andre from Nordhook Agro to get some answers. Wow, what an amazing conversation we had. It's all about the EU not approving different chemicals to stop a thrips infestation. This is what the veggies are looking like. And if there's such an abundance of kale in the US, why are the prices up? Mauritius, that's understandable after a cyclone decimates the island, that you need imports. And we are just at the beginning of 2018 for the amplification of our weather. Look how much further we need to go, and let's really delve into why these food shortages are being masked and how many of them are going on at the moment. First, I would like to thank FeedSpot for putting me at the number 12 position in the top 60 weather YouTube channels for meteorologists. Speaking of which, Davos, World Economic Forum, now that's a big carbon footprint, those 1,000 private jets in pristine Davos. Oh yeah, and then we need to add in the tons and tons and tons of CO2 coming from the choppers. Heads of state are dealing with record snow in the area. But the UN Climate Change Base Camp will not have to go very far to study thick snow and Arctic conditions. Speaking of that, blizzard paralyzing South Dakota, doubling the old snow records. Icy start to February, buckle up. And because it's going to be record cold in New York, let's take a look at 160 years of skating in New York City. GFS model, that white dot, that is a tropospheric anomaly. Take a look at it over Greenland, below normal temperatures all across Asia. Extreme cold may have damaged the winter wheat in the United States and Canada. Riots in French supermarkets and Nutella. I can't imagine what they're going to do when they fight for real food.